And it's Josh Sexton for the Anfield Wrap here on behalf of the PFA and Vertu Motors today to speak to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent, nice one for joining us first of all.
My pleasure.
The last time I got the chance to speak to you was at your unveiling of the mural in Anfield, and the words, of course, accompany that are I'm just a normal lad from Liverpool whose dream just came true. Does it still feel like a dream come true all these years on, all the success you've achieved at Liverpool so far?
Every day, every single day, to be honest with you. Yeah, you know, at times you get, it doesn't really cross your mind and you get used to it, but you know, it's special moments. You know, every time on the bus going past the mural, seeing someone with your name on the back of their shirt, the support we get, people outside the training ground, people outside the stadium, just support from all angles. Always still hits home, to be honest. Yeah.
And you mentioned in your pre-Inter Milan press conference recently about how high the expectations are within the dressing room this season and the sort of trophies that you're aiming to win as a group. Why do you think it's so important for you guys as a squad in particular, you know, given the history you've achieved in winning the Premier League, to make a further mark of history and keep sort of building on that success so far?
I think it's been probably too long of a wait for the fans, for the people to see another great Liverpool team that we haven't seen in a while. So I think while we've got it and while we feel like it's still our time, we need to utilise that. I think we've made our own history in our way as a team, and I think we want to keep adding to that. We want to win more trophies. I feel as a team, as a squad, as players, that's achievable. That's something that we should be able to do, and we've proven it to ourselves, to everyone, that we're able to do it. We're good enough to do it. We're adding more and more to the squad as well, so it's important to be winning these trophies because that's the level we think that we're at.
Do you think it's important for you in particular to be one of the players sort of, you know, leading in the almost public facing side of that, you know, coming out and speaking about how high the expectations are to almost show the fans that you know they're in the considerations of the success of the club?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been scared or afraid of maybe putting a little bit of pressure on me or the lads, because I feel like they are the expectations that we've got, you know, and there's always that risk of not achieving your expectations, but you know, you can't, you've got to set your level and set your expectations somewhere, and I think that our expectation is to win trophies. There's no shame in that, there's no hiding from that. If we don't, then it's a disappointment, and if we do, then obviously it's a success, but we know that we're good enough to do that, and so that's where we need to aim for. And I think that's something that I think, not that we want to be getting used to and being complacent and thinking that we're good enough to win it, so we should just win it. It's about making sure we know that we are good enough, but we have to do the ugly side of the game. We have to work hard, we have to keep our feet on the ground, and we have to earn it. It's not just going to be handed to us.
Given that you're a boyhood Red, a local lad, one of the more probably experienced heads in the dressing room, at least at Liverpool, which is mad to say because you're obviously only 23 years old, do you feel that responsibility even more to the fans and obviously being sort of immersed in the community around it as well?
Yeah, I know. Obviously, I've been on the fan side of it, and I'm now on the playing side of it. So I've seen, you know, the best of both worlds in that respect. So I know the thought processes of the fans, how they feel, the emotions, the emotions that come with that, and I know it from a player's side as well. So I feel as though it's important for me to, you know, get the messages across, understand both sides of it, and kind of find the balance of doing what's right and understanding the club as a whole.
And given there's younger players coming through, I mentioned about you being one of the more experienced heads, like the likes of Harvey Elliott and Cade Gordon coming through in pre-season in particular. I've seen you on your socials wanting to sort of put an arm around them and give them words of encouragement. Why do you think it's important for you in particular, you know, given that you've trodden a similar path to give sort of words of advice to those young guys coming through?
I think in my mind I'd like to see myself as someone who they look up to, who they hopefully want to try and replicate, but do it in their own way. I mean, I always had people that I looked up to growing up. I mean, I was looking at obviously the senior players for me in the team came through, like trying to learn from the likes of Hendo, Millie, them kinds of players, and just pick up little things and feel like I was able to go and speak to them because they've been through the experiences that I've been through, and I feel like now the young lads, you like Harvey, Cade, Tyler Morton and that, I'd like to think that I've been through what they're going through right now, and they can relate to me, and I'm able to give them answers on how to deal with things. And obviously at that age, it's about being patient. You can't force yourself into the team. You're obviously dying to play as much football as you can, and you're in and around that you're training. You're with the 23 sometimes, and you find yourself a little bit in the middle, and you don't really know where you stand. It's about being patient and just knowing that if you keep working hard, and people are always watching, whether you're up here and training with the first team or you're playing in a game down to 23s, there's always people watching. We've got an amazing link between here and the academy, so messages do get filtered through all the time, and it's about making sure that they understand that I've been through a lot of what they're going through right now, so hopefully they'll be able to learn from me.
And you mentioned there that it's such a good time in terms of the link between the club and the academy. It's probably as strong as it's ever been, and you're seeing that in the first team this season with the amount of lads who've come through and sort of made that step up. Do you think it's particularly important then with the amount of lads coming through that you are sort of one of those role models? Because if you look in recent times, you are probably the shining example of a lad who's come through from the academy and made that step up to be a first team regular at Liverpool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to be someone who's relatable to them. I want to be someone who they feel like they can trust, and I'm not gonna, go behind the back and speak to other people about what they're coming to me with, and I'm able to give them sound advice and understand where they're coming from and what are working and what won't, and kind of let them know what people see and without them kind of knowing, because a lot of things you think people don't really see. I can be a couple minutes late and things like that, and everything gets seen, everything, people see everything. So it's about I just want to give them sound advice, make sure that they know that I'm always here for them, and try and steer them on the right path and keep them on the right path, because they've done so much to get here, and it'd be a shame to see them not reach full potential.
When you talk about the idea of not reaching full potential, I know it's something you've spoken out about publicly recently, about lads who fall out of the academy system, and you wanting to learn more about that and sort of be give those lads the knowledge that there is a plan B there. Why do you think it's particularly important for you to get involved in that side of things as well?
Something that, I've seen left, right and centre all around me. I've came through with hundreds and hundreds of kids in the academy, and that's just obviously at Liverpool. So, there's hundreds of kids every single season that don't quite make it at various different age groups, and they either go and try somewhere else or they can't, they just fall out of the game. And I think it's always sad to see people who their dream, they can't quite reach the dream, and they end up falling out of love with the sport and not really wanting to be involved in it anymore. And I always find that quite sad. And I've got mates that I've known growing up, went to school with, who always played with me, and then age 16, 18, they don't quite make it, and it's sad. They fall out of the game, and I think a lot of the stuff is behind closed doors, and I know there's so much work that goes on, various organisations and people working very hard to give these lads a second chance, a plan B, another option to do what they love. But I always felt it's very important for someone with a big following, a big responsibility on me to really shine a light on that matter, and let these lads know that it's not just, I want to bring it to the attention of people when people start thinking about it. And there's even though there's a lot that's going on and a lot that's being done about it, there's always more that we can do, and it's about making sure that we do as much as we can as a football community within England to help these lads have a foundation underneath them.
Absolutely. Well, it's incredibly inspiring, and you continue to inspire on and off the pitch, which is why it's an honour to present you with the PFA Fans Player of the Month on behalf of the PFA Vertu Motors.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
There's a boss painting that comes with it as well.
No, I've been looking at that the whole time. Wow. Yeah, this would be
You deserve
lovely.
it, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.